You know, a long time ago, uh, maybe last year, I made a video where I talked about the upside, or rather, what I would do if I were more notable. And it's funny, as I go and look back at it, I realize my discontent with a lot of things has sort of boiled up to where the negatives start to outweigh the positives. So, for example, I mentioned, being able to convey a message and having that known by more people. But if a lot of those who see the message are not receptive to what it is calling for, that becomes pointless. And there was an effort by some to suggest that this would somehow translate better into interactions with others. And I paused and I said, I hope you realize that were I to, I guess, ascend, in any matter that one could think of, notability or just anything else, those that would benefit the most as far as, me deliberately attempting to improve the quality of their lives are those that have already been around. Those that have been with me in both the state of disillusion and high point, and I think really have tested their commitment to my characteristics, and really just never gave me the feeling or thought that there was something in it for them other than to ensure that I was better off. So when I read these comments about, you'll be able to get this person, you'll be able to get that person, I said, well, the people I want to get are already here. Now, does that mean I'm not receptive to those trying to enter that circle? Absolutely not. I think that there is room for those that follow a pattern of behavior that I've been very receptive to. But the issue that comes around when you have a person who's known for making something of themselves or for being famous or whatever is that they then become distrustful of various people, because there are loads of individuals that just want to waste our time and do even worse things, and that's been part of the reason why I've tried to find uh, meaning in those that are from the era of now where it's still a relative unknown, and I don't feel bad for going out and doing that. I think that I've been successful in creating those platonic interactions, and I've been thankful to them for doing that as well. But it is sad to um, take a step back and not necessarily know whether you want to assume, oh, is the person out to get me? Is the person here to help me? But when I go and read stories about past experiences that people have had with their fame and their attempts to interact with others, it just seems if they get caught up in this circle jerk of things not working their way because someone is going out of their way to see to that, and you get caught up with the idea rather than with the reality. Um, just as I believe it's a reality that the people who have been around prior to this supposed wave of success that might or might not happen, um, I'm a lot more believing in them because I've seen the reality of their assistance and commitment to me. If we're talking about the abstract of someone that comes around after the fact, they weren't there during that period of tension and building and uh, trying to further the plot. And so because they weren't available, there's this assumption on my part that maybe they wouldn't have if they had been offered the opportunity, because people have done the same thing where they show up during this period and they go, oh no, I'm not interested, and they come back a year or two later, under whatever pretense they might think of. And it's sad because when it comes to interactions, there is this willingness on the part of many to lump those with similar complaints into a box, and they find themselves not they find themselves, even if they're in the presence of someone that they consider part of the problem or having the same issue, not receptive to that person's rhetoric. And the reason for that is because when you go to someone who is confident in why they think the way they do, and all you can do is tell them about how wrong they are, and really take on this tone of talking at them. You're accomplishing nothing other than telling them how much you're not in favor of what they're doing, which again is not attempting to understand them, but rather just trying to grandstand and get your message out. I've had that happen several times, and I always try to explain these conversations are worthless, not because it's differing opinions, but because there is an opinion that is being pushed to such an extent that it doesn't allow for the other perspective to even be heard. You could sit down for 3 or 2 hours, 3 or 33 hours with some of these people and tell them, I would like to, have success, but the people who come afterward, I'm not really interested in because of X, Y, and Z, as I just named for you earlier, and they still can't comprehend it. And that's what we're seeing in my comments section. That's what we're seeing in our own lives. It's a sad state of affairs, and I keep trying to explain that you're not going to better anyone if you don't attempt to come at them from the perspective of why do they feel this way, and what can I do to try to get it? Because before you can solve something, you have to understand what the problem is, and you should not come to that person from the viewpoint of just they're this idiot that doesn't get what's going on. That breeds continued division and just disillusion with interacting. So I thank you for watching and have a good day.